During the family holiday brunch, Dad muttered, "You always ruin the mood. Just leave." My sister snickered while everyone laughed. I smiled, gathered my kids' coats, and left without another word. An hour later, Mom called, panicked. "Why isn't the card working?" By evening, every one of their payments declined, and I ignored every call. "Are you done acting like a victim, Will?" Dad's voice cut through the dining room before I'd even sat down. The smell of burnt bacon filled the air. The clock ticked like it was waiting for the next explosion. Mom pretended to be busy refilling coffee. My sister Harper scrolled her phone with a smirk, like this was a show she'd already seen. "I didn't even say anything," I said. "That's the problem," Dad snapped. "You never do. You just sit there like you're above us." Harper snorted. "He's always been that way." Mom tried to calm him. "Please, can we have one peaceful meal?" Dad slammed his chair back. "You always ruin the mood, William. Just leave." The laughter that followed wasn't loud, but it was enough. I stood, helped my kids with their coats. Didn't argue, didn't look back. By the time Mom called an hour later, "Will, the card's not working. Did you cancel something?" I already knew what came next. Every transaction that day would fail. Every comfort they took for granted would vanish. They told me to leave. So I did. But this time, my silence had teeth. "My name's William Carter, 28. To them, I'm the quiet one. The one who never caused trouble. The boring son who worked too much and talked too little. They don't know what silence costs. I left home at 18, worked 3 jobs, sent money every month to help with Dad's bills when he lost his job. Later, I found out he hadn't lost it. He'd quit, because that's what family's for. I didn't argue. Just paid the mortgage he bragged about owning. Every Christmas, Harper called me the helper, Mom called me the responsible one, and Dad called me the disappointment who doesn't drink with his father. They all used me, my money, my patience, my guilt, and I let them, for years. But there's a line between being quiet and being blind, and I crossed it the night I opened a letter that changed everything. A letter addressed to Dad with my name on the loan. He'd used my credit to save the house, and Mom knew. That was the night my silence began to sharpen. The family portrait, Dad, Gerald Carter, 59, the man everyone respected but no one really knew. Loud, proud, full of half-truths and full glasses. Mom, Linda, the peacemaker. Soft voice, tired eyes. She always said, "He means well," even when his words cut deep. Harper, 26. Sharp tongue, sweet smile when it benefited her. She married rich, divorced richer, and still called Dad for advice. And then me, William. The invisible thread that held it all together. The one who paid, fixed, forgave. At that brunch, watching them laugh after Dad told me to leave, something inside me finally broke, but not loudly. Quietly, like a hairline crack in glass that keeps spreading. They didn't see it, but I knew. They were standing on a foundation I built, and it was time they felt what it was like when it shifted. The next day, Harper texted, "Dad's freaking out. Bank says joint account is frozen. What did you do?" I didn't reply. 2 hours later, Mom called, voice trembling. "William, please, your father can't pay the bills. You can't do this to us," I said quietly. "You all did this to me a long time ago." Dad grabbed the phone from her. "You ungrateful brat, after all we've done for you." I laughed softly. "You mean after all I've done for you?" Then I hung up. Behind that calm voice, my hands were shaking, but not from regret, from release, because for the first time, they were the ones depending on silence. Mine. And they had no idea what else I'd been planning. 3 nights later, Harper showed up at my door. No makeup, no smirk, just panic. "Will, please. Dad's losing it. Mom's crying every night. He says you're trying to destroy us." I looked her dead in the eyes. "You really want to talk about destruction? How about the time you and Dad sold Mom's old jewelry, the stuff I bought her, and told me it got stolen?" Her face went white. "You knew?" I always knew. She swallowed hard. Why didn't you say anything? Because back then, I said, I still thought keeping quiet kept us a family. That night, she left without saying goodbye, and for the first time, I realized my calm scared them more than my anger ever could. I remember being 17, Dad got drunk and backed the car into the fence. He blamed me, said I was the one driving, and I took it. Because Mom begged me to. Your father can't afford another mistake, Will. Please. That lie stayed on my record for years. It cost me jobs, scholarships. But I stayed quiet because family was supposed to mean forgiveness. Turns out it meant obedience. That was the night I learned what my silence was worth. Everything I had. And they spent it freely. It happened a week later. Dad finally came to my house. Red-eyed, angry, but nervous. You think you're better than us, huh? You think you can humiliate your own family? I said, you already did that yourselves. Then I handed him a file. The bank documents, the loans, the signed transfers, his signature on every line under my name. He went pale. You kept copies? I kept everything, I said. Every lie, every time you said I was ungrateful, every debt you made me pay. Mom whispered from behind him. Will, we didn't mean for it to go that far. I looked at her, not with anger, but something worse. Pity. You let him use me. You called it love. They both went quiet. For the first time, they had nothing to say. The house was silent except for the clock ticking. Dad sank into the couch. Mom cried softly. I gave you all my silence, I said. Tonight I give you the truth. Harper showed up halfway through the chaos. She tried to defend them until she saw the papers, the numbers, the proof. She turned on Dad, screaming, You dragged all of us down for your pride. It was ugly. Years of lies, fights, and resentment spilling out, and I just stood there, calm, steady, watching everything I'd carried finally collapse. For once, they couldn't twist the story. They couldn't paint me the villain. The truth was too loud to ignore. The next morning, I packed a bag for the kids. Harper stopped by again. Her voice was softer this time. Will, I'm sorry, she said, for everything. You didn't deserve any of it. I nodded. None of us did, but I learned something. Sometimes walking away is louder than yelling. She nodded, eyes glassy. Are you ever going to forgive them? I looked past her, at the sunrise breaking through the clouds. Maybe, but not today. I left the keys to the house on the counter, the one they thought they owned, and walked out lighter than I'd ever felt. It's been 3 months. They sold Dad's truck, moved into a smaller house. Harper started therapy. Mom still texts sometimes. We're trying, Will. I don't reply much. I'm learning to live without noise. My kids laugh louder now. The house feels safe again, and every time I look in the mirror, I don't see the quiet boy who let everyone walk over him. I see a man who finally took his silence back. For the first time in my life, I don't carry their weight anymore, just my own. And that's enough. If you were in my place, would you forgive them, or would you walk away forever? Tell me in the comments below. Your story might help someone else find their voice. If William's story hit you. Like if you've ever been the quiet one who finally spoke up. Comment what silence cost you. Subscribe for more stories that remind you. Sometimes revenge isn't about hurting them. It's about finally choosing yourself.